Hey guys, it's Doug. How's it going? I have another brand new for 2018 Department 56 piece review here today. And just as a reminder, from now through Halloween, every Friday, I'll be dropping a new village piece review. So again, this is new for 2018 Department 56. Now, you can see here in the box, this is labeled as Halloween, right? This is actually part of their new Harvest series, is what Department 56 is calling it. And it's actually the first piece in that. So the Harvest Gazebo is an actual set of four. You have a scarecrow. You have the actual gazebo itself, you have a maple tree, and you also have, and it's not pictured here, a bag of maple leaves. I've shown this off in other reviews. Some other pieces have this year. I'm not strewing the maple leaves all around here right now just because I don't want to make a mess, have to pick it up because this piece isn't going on display yet. But you do get a bag of it, so just so you know. So if you guys have watched any of my other videos, you might know that I really like the Trick or Treat Lane series that Department 56 puts out. It's actually my favorite among all the companies. You know, they have their sublines. That is my fave. And this, though, is probably the line I'm most excited to see where it goes in the future. You know, while I love Halloween, I love fall in general. And I always like to see when other aspects of that are celebrated. And in my opinion, this is a theme that really hasn't been done as well as it could be, or probably, you know, done up to the max like it should be. In my opinion, just the you know, the traditional fall festival, town festival, or even just, you know, fall around town in general. I'm not really sure where Department 56 is going to go with this, but I look at like the earlier Limax when they did the Harvest Crossing earlier in that lifespan of that. There were some really cool fall buildings in it. I know on my channel I've done Peter's Pumpkin Patch, for example, and it's kind of skewed now towards that. The line is still around, but it's skewed more towards like Christmas buildings. Even if they're not overtly Christmas, that's really kind of what they're themed, and you don't really see like the fall type buildings as much. Department 56 has done some really cool fall buildings in the past, but it's cool to see a real dedicated line here that they're going to go with in the future. And you know, nothing makes me as nostalgic, you know, for fall as something like a town festival. And of course, what would you find at that? You'd probably find a gazebo that's decorated, and that actually is something that I know personally because we have a big you know, a festival here in St. Charles, Missouri, where I live, down on the riverfront. And there is on the riverfront of the Missouri River, I should specify, and there is a really cool gazebo, like a really big gazebo on the trail that they decorate similar to this. So to actually get into the review of this piece here, you get a really good sized gazebo with a great paint job, typical Department 56, and it is lit up, as you can see here. It's got lights all around the gazebo, nothing spectacular, you know, just very bright LED lights. There's no regular bulbs here, by the way. It plugs in with a standard adapter in the back of it, one of the newer, you know, the smaller adapters, just like the houses. But it's quite bright. And this has an actual, you know, like white lighting. I know some of the buildings, they have a more, you know, a straight up orange lighting. This is actually a regular white light. So it does look different if it's lit up with your other pieces, you know, just as an FYI. And I love the details that make up the piece. You can see here, of course, you have the pumpkins and gourds in the middle of the gazebo here, just lined up, or stacked up, I'm sorry. On the side of it here, you've got, you know, the apples and baskets next to the wagon wheel. I love how it's, you know, that country style. And then of course you have maple leaves adorning, you know, all over it, which they look really nice painted on there. Also pumpkins even on the sides of the building, and the actual paint on it, you know, with that red, it looks like an old farmhouse paint. It just looks really good. It's just this is such a nostalgic piece. Getting into the accessories real fast here, the scarecrow that comes with it, he's of good size, great paint job, like his little, you know, gourds for sale. He matches up very well for this, because this is actually, that's I guess what they're doing at the gazebo here. You know, there's a little like a farmer's market sale type thing going on here, and he's very non-threatening, very nostalgic looking. He is not scary in the least. I know there are plenty of spooky scarecrows out there, but this one is not. And I love how he looks. Again, it's such a nice, you know, juxtaposition from the normal super spooky stuff, especially like the last review I did with the, you know, the asylum, which was a terrifying building. This is so inviting, and so, you know, the scarecrow helps with that whole theme of this. And you also get a tree, a maple tree. It's kind of the standard, you know, it comes not with the branches out, and you can twist the branches however you want to expand the tree, make it a little bit thinner, whatever. And then those maple leaves I mentioned, which aren't shown here, but you can strew those about. This is just it's a great start for this line. I think I'm really excited to see where they go with this. I'm hoping that we get to see, you know, stuff like, of course there'll be farms. I would assume there would be a really good, you know, like a a decorated fall barn, but I'd even like to see something like, you know, a schoolhouse or something that's decorated for fall, or some other fall festival, like a fall, you know, Middletown festival thing. Something that's not overtly Halloween, because we have plenty of those. And trust me, you guys know I love Halloween. I'm all about it. But it is cool to see this, you know, fall represented in a different light here as far as mini villaging goes. So I'm all aboard on this. And this accessory, by the way, you can use it for any Halloween, you know, theme. Especially it would go great with the Trick or Treat Lane series, where things aren't overtly, you know, like scary monsters, and it's actually supposed to look like an actual neighborhood. And it's just it's something it's enjoyable. You're gonna see it in my display this year when I put up my first Trick or Treat style village. And you know, it reminds me very much of the pumpkin water tower, which I absolutely love, and which is probably my favorite village piece of all time. I wouldn't put this there, but it reminds me of that in the fact that it's not a real building per se. It's a nice garnishment. Now this is more so than the you know, more of a building obviously than the water tower that I talk about, the pumpkin water tower, but still sort of the same idea, to where I don't think you could make a whole scene out of this necessarily. This wouldn't be a centerpiece of a full scene, but it's a really nice additional, you know, like a big accessory, something to add on. But that being said, if you just wanted to do a fall scene and, you know, not the rest of a village, you could put this on a table or something, and it would be a nice little, you know, ceramic decoration. I would give this a 2 out of 3, I think. It's not quite a building, but it's not quite an accessory, really. In my opinion, it's kind of that middle ground, but it's really, really nice garnishment for your village. And I think it's a really good start for this series that they're going to add on. So I'm hoping that if this does well, that they're going to maybe add a couple pieces every year, but at the very least, it'd be nice if they just keep it going with one additional one. And that being said, if you do want one of these, I'm not sure if they're planning to do just one building a year on these, you know, to where they retired after 1 year. But if you think that you would like this, I would recommend picking it up this year, because I don't know if this will come back next year. And I know that some of these other, you know, like fall themed pieces that they have done over the years, some of them do not have very long runs, and those become highly collectible. So, and again, this is a gift set as well, so you're getting a few things with it here, and I know those generally become more collectible, it seems like, than just the standard buildings. But anyways, that's my take on the Harvest Gazebo set. I really like it. Love the nostalgic fall vibe that it brings to a display. And really happy with you know, the kickoff to this line. So, all right, guys, thank you for watching. I will see you next Friday with another Village Piece review. And as a teaser for what's coming, let's get ready to do the mash. See you then.